Hello, great people of social media. This is Preacher. So, I got to read this for to get clarity on this now, right? This may gonna hurt some of y'all. Hurt some of y'all. Matthew 8:18, 15 through 20. Moreover, if thy brother shall trespass against thee, go and tell him his fault between thee and him alone. If he shall hear thee, thou hast gained thy brother. But if he will not hear thee, then take with thee one or two more, that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses every word may be established. And if he shall neglect to hear them, tell it unto the church. But if he neglect to hear the church, let him be unto thee as a heathen man. So, I don't know what it is with when we have a problem with somebody. When we have a problem with somebody, we have to go and tell everybody else the problem, but the person that you have a problem with. I don't understand. I don't understand. I don't understand. And I see a lot of truckers who is mad at another trucker that they have not talked to personally. They don't even know personally, but they got a big problem about that person. And this trucker is ready to just be down in this other trucker about things that it's not fair to the other trucker, because the other trucker don't even know what they did wrong. They don't even know what they did wrong. But you so mad at your fellow trucker, and you ain't even reach out to even try to talk with that person or not, but you ready to defame that person, talk all bad about that person, take stuff that person said out of context to make it fit your narrative, but you never go to that one person. And then when we have an issue inside the trucking community, now all of a sudden we want people to come together. And reason why we could never get things done, because we are never coming together. We never try to, if we have a disagreement or talk with somebody about something, it's okay to disagree about a point of view. It's nothing wrong with that. You have your opinion, they have their opinion. It's okay to disagree. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. You can do debates. Whatever happened to the debates? You remember the debates back in the days? Why you can't come up with something to where we could debate something? This is your point of view. This is my point of view. Let's talk about it. Let's debate about it. Let's bring your factual knowledge and my factual knowledge, and let's debate. Let's debate that. Whatever happened to that? That's when you bringing in some other people to witness things. So what y'all two can debate what y'all going on. Bring in a neutral party and debate y'all differences, if that is the case. Whatever happened to that? No, we ready to just down another trucker because of what the trucker believes. Everybody believes that their system is the best system. Everybody believes their thought process on why they do stuff is the best. Everybody believes that their reasoning for being a company driver makes more sense to being a lease driver than make more sense to being a lease purchase driver than make more sense to being an owner. And vice versa. It's plenty of facts out here that you can look at. Plenty of facts that you can look up, right? Because what works for me may not work for you. You don't stay where I stay at, so you can't do what I do, and I can't do what you do, because where you stay at. Where you stay at, you can start off your week really, really good with great rates. You can stay in a market where rates are great inside your market. You can. You can stay in an area where your cost of living is a lot lower than somebody else's cost of living. So because my cost of living is a lot lower than yours, I can make $6,000 a week and live like a king. But to you, $6,000, that ain't no money, right? That's no money for you. No, that ain't no money. I got to make it at least $8,000, $7,500. They ain't no money. They ain't even enough money to pay bills. No, it's not enough money to pay your bills. Your situation is not everybody else's situation. I done said that plenty of times. You staying in places like Alabama and Mississippi where rent is under $1,000. That's a lot better than staying here in Florida when the average rent is about $1,800, like for a 1-bedroom or a 2-bedroom. In some places it's higher. Some places it may be lower. You know? So it's different. Some states have a state tax where they're taking more money that you have to pay, right? Some states don't have a state tax. So that means you're going to have a little bit more money inside your pocket. Some states' sales tax is higher than other states' sales tax. So you spending more on goods than in other states. Every situation is not the same. But instead of downing somebody for what they're talking about in their situation, you taking it as a personal insult to you. All right, and I say that because I done had 2 friends getting into it with each other out here because of their own different beliefs. And I'm like, why are y'all getting in it to each other? Have y'all even talked to each other? No, but y'all talking about each other though. Y'all have not talked to each other personally, but you just throwing jabs on every single thing that ruffle your feather. You know, even if you can take that in every aspect of life. If you want to keep it biblically, look inside a church. Even in church, you have a problem with one church member, but then you go on to other church members talking about that one church member that you got a problem with, but you never went to that one church member about the issues that you are having or the way that you are feeling, but you bringing everybody else around from your one point of view on this issue instead of going to that person first. We point out every sin in the world we point out, but we don't point out all these other things that you're supposed to do while you live in a Christian life. We always point out all these big sins that is super, super big that get you the headlines and the talking, but we don't point out these little sins that you are doing that it still is a sin. Just because you go to church, that does not make you a Christian. That makes you a church goer. You got to remember, we have to live this life, be about this life, own this life as a Christian if you're going to be a Christian. You have to operate yourself on the biblical principles if you're going to be a Christian. All of them. And if you don't know all of them, you need to study. That's why the Bible says to study to show thyself approved. Ignorance is not an excuse. So if you take the regular Bible principles, still transfer over to the regular life. No matter if regular life, even if you ain't in church, you're not in trucking, just a regular friendship. A lot of friendships break because you never went to that friend directly and told that friend directly issues or feelings that you are having about things that friend is doing. You bringing in other friends in the midst because you want somebody to agree with your point of view. And y'all ready to talk about this in person. So now by the time that person here that you done been talking with within the group of friends now the problem then got blown up way out of proportion. When if you had a problem with somebody, you just should have went to that particular person and just say, hey, this. Same thing in marriages. You ready to talk to your friend about problems in your marriage instead of talk to your spouse. Okay? Marriage is about partnership. It's not about compliance. I want a partner. I don't want you to be compliant. I want a partner. We in this thing together. That's the only way this thing is going to work out. Same thing in relationships. It's not supposed to be about everything that I want to do. It's not supposed to be about everything that you want to do. It's a partnership. We're supposed to come to a common agreement. Okay? Y'all better read 1 Corinthians when it's dealing with talking about relationships, spouses and stuff. I mean, y'all got to read. Okay, that was the Christian point of view. It was about trucking, but I put Jesus in everything that I do. All right, man. Y'all take it easy.